Imagine a young boy filled with questions about life and success, visiting his wise grandfather for answers. Instead of advice, his grandfather hands him two plants, and the lesson that unfolds over years will forever change how the boy sees life's challenges. What did these two plants reveal about the true path to success? Stay with us to find out how this simple story holds powerful wisdom we can all use in our lives. If you're ready to uncover valuable life lessons, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss inspiring stories like this one. Let's dive into today's story. It was a bright summer afternoon, with a light breeze carrying the scent of flowers and freshly cut grass. A young boy, eager with curiosity, had come to spend his summer with his grandfather. This wasn't just any summer for him. He was filled with a budding desire to understand what it meant to succeed in life. He admired his grandfather, who, despite his simple life, had an air of quiet strength and wisdom that made people look to him for guidance. The boy had often wondered how his grandfather became so steady, so unshaken by life's troubles. One afternoon, after a day of exploring the countryside, the boy found his grandfather sitting under an old tree in the backyard, whittling a piece of wood. Gathering his courage, he approached and asked with sincerity, "Grandfather, how can I be successful when I grow up?" His grandfather looked up slowly, a warm smile forming on his weathered face, but he didn't answer immediately. Instead, he put down his knife and wood, leaned back and said, "Come with me. I want to show you something." He rose to his feet with surprising energy, beckoning the boy to follow. Intrigued, the boy fell in step beside him as they made their way to a small nursery not far from the house. At the nursery, they wandered through rows of delicate plants and vibrant flowers. The grandfather carefully chose two small plants, and with a nod to the shopkeeper, he bought them. He then led the boy home, both plants cradled carefully in his hands. The boy, unsure of what his grandfather had in mind, followed closely, curiosity building with each step. Back at home, the grandfather took the first plant and planted it indoors, placing it near a bright window where it would be safe from the elements. No gusts of wind, no heavy rains, and no burning sun. It was nestled in comfort, shielded from every potential hardship. Then the grandfather took the second plant and led the boy outside to an open patch of soil. The ground was rougher here, and the boy wondered why his grandfather had chosen such a spot. But with gentle care, his grandfather dug a small hole and planted the second plant under the open sky, exposed to wind, rain, and direct sunlight. When both plants were settled, the grandfather dusted off his hands, turned to the boy and asked, "Now tell me, which one of these plants do you think will grow stronger and taller?" The boy thought for a moment and pointed to the plant indoors. "This one, grandfather. It's safe from storms and all the things that could harm it." The grandfather nodded but said nothing, leaving the boy to ponder his choice. Years passed, and life swept the boy along with its current. He grew older, with more experiences and responsibilities, and he had nearly forgotten about the two plants. But one summer he returned to his grandfather's home. As he walked through the familiar yard, something caught his eye. A towering tree stood proudly in the same spot where he remembered planting one of the small plants. Its branches stretched wide, casting a deep shade beneath it, and its roots dug firmly into the ground, anchoring it. The boy's heart skipped a beat with excitement. He rushed to find his grandfather, who was tending the garden nearby, and exclaimed, "Grandfather, what happened to the plant we left outside? It's grown so big." The old man smiled, his eyes twinkling with warmth. "Come with me, and I'll show you something else," he said. He led the boy to the indoor plant. It had grown a little, but it was still small, its stem thin and leaves sparse. The plant seemed almost fragile, leaning to one side as if it lacked the strength to hold itself up fully. The boy looked at it with a mixture of surprise and disappointment. Then his grandfather took him back outside, where they stood before the mighty tree that had once been the small plant. It was resilient, beautiful, and strong, with leaves that rustled in the breeze. The boy reached out, touching its rough bark, feeling the strength in its sturdy trunk. The grandfather placed his hand on the tree and began to speak softly. This tree grew strong because it faced the challenges of the world. It was battered by storms, felt the fierce heat of the sun, and endured heavy rains. Its roots had to grow deep to hold firm against the winds. It wasn't protected or sheltered, but because of that, it grew into something strong, something that could weather any storm. Pausing, he looked down at the boy, who was listening intently, a thoughtful look on his face. "Now look at the plant inside," he continued. It was safe, protected from every hardship, but without the challenges of the outside world, it didn't have a reason to grow strong. It's comfortable but weak. It had no reason to dig its roots deep, no reason to reach high. Without struggle, it could never become like this tree. The boy was silent, his mind absorbing the lesson with a growing sense of clarity. He looked up at his grandfather, and for the first time, he truly understood the depth of his wisdom. "In life, my boy," the grandfather said gently, "success isn't found in avoiding challenges. True success, is born from resilience. If you want to grow and reach your full potential, you must face life's obstacles head-on. Comfort may feel safe, but it limits you. Only by enduring struggle can you find the strength you didn't know you had." As the boy stood beneath the tree, he felt a shift within him, a quiet but profound understanding. His grandfather's words sank deep, shaping his view of life, success, and the role of struggle in becoming truly strong. He realized that while he had always thought success came from avoiding pain and risk, it was, in fact, the opposite. True success was born from the courage to face life's storms head-on. The boy turned to his grandfather with newfound resolve. "So, grandfather, if I want to grow strong, like this tree, I need to embrace the hard things, don't I?" His grandfather nodded, his eyes warm and full of pride. "Yes, my boy. Remember, comfort and safety have their place, but they can keep you small. The challenges you face are the ones that test you and make you uncomfortable are what build your strength, your wisdom, and your resilience. Every difficulty is a chance to grow." The boy thought about the plant inside the house, small and weak despite its easy life, and then looked again at the mighty tree. Its branches reached wide, creating a cool, welcoming shade beneath it. Birds sang from its branches, and its roots were so deeply entwined in the soil that even the fiercest winds couldn't unsettle it. "Grandfather, this tree didn't grow tall just for itself, did it?" the boy asked, his voice touched with awe. "It grew tall so that it could offer shade and shelter too." The grandfather smiled, his eyes glistening with both joy and wisdom. "That's right. When you face challenges and grow strong, you don't just do it for yourself. Your strength becomes a refuge for others. It's a gift that serves beyond your own life. Every challenge you overcome is a story you can share, a comfort you can offer, and a light that helps others find their way." The boy took a deep breath, feeling a newfound sense of purpose and excitement for the life that lay ahead. He understood now that the road to success wouldn't always be smooth or easy, but it would be worth it. Each storm, every obstacle would be a stepping stone, helping him build the strength to weather even greater storms and to become someone others could rely on. He would embrace challenges not as things to be feared, but as opportunities, chances to stretch, to dig his roots deep and to stand tall against the winds. For it was in these moments of discomfort, struggle, and perseverance that he would grow into his fullest self. Final words from the grandfather, a lasting reminder. As they walked back to the house, the grandfather placed his hand on the boy's shoulder. "Remember this, my boy. Challenges are temporary, but the strength they build within you lasts forever. Each struggle today prepares you for tomorrow, shaping you into someone who can stand tall, unbreakable, and full of purpose. Life will test you. Let it. Each test is another route, digging deep, anchoring you for all the good you are yet to accomplish. The boy nodded, filled with gratitude and a deep sense of resolve. He knew that whenever he faced difficulties in the years ahead, he would think back to his grandfather's wisdom, to the tree, and to the lesson that comfort, while tempting, was only a shadow of the real reward that comes from growth through struggle. Moral of the story. This story teaches us that difficulties are not obstacles, but essential parts of the journey toward our fullest potential. It reminds us that life's challenges are not meant to hinder us, but to shape us into resilient, wise, and compassionate individuals. Embracing hardship as a necessary part of the path allows us to grow strong like the tree, becoming a source of strength, comfort, and shelter for others. In the end, every challenge is an invitation to become who we are truly meant to be, and every struggle is a step toward the strength that sustains us through life's seasons. By facing adversity with courage, we cultivate the resilience needed to thrive. And, like the towering tree, we find the power not only to endure, but to inspire and protect others in their journey as well. If this story resonated with you and you found value in its message, please consider liking and sharing it with others. By doing so, you're helping spread meaningful wisdom that can inspire strength and resilience in more people. Follow my channel for more stories like this, each crafted to bring valuable insights, encouragement, and timeless teachings into your life. Together, let's create a community that uplifts and empowers one another to grow through life's challenges and thrive.